Hi. So when I was first getting out of the Army, I was in the transition assistance program, and the contractor, who's an Army retiree, stands up and he introduces himself and he says, "None of you have this blue cool guy card." It's my Army retired ID. And I thought about it for a minute and I said, no, that's not a cool guy card. That's a work release program. Then he started into his script, into his lecture, into his curriculum. He says, for the next 4.5 days, we're going to teach you what to do to get out of the Army and into the civilian job market. And like our own Army curriculum, it starts with, he walks through the outline. He says, for day one, we're going to talk to you about resume writing. And day two, we're going to talk to you about resume writing. And day 3 and 4, we're going to talk to you about interview techniques. And the way you do the do the process of transitioning out of the Army and getting the right job for you after you get out of the Army is by networking. And he launches into a spiel. Resume writing, resume. Interview technique, interview technique, interview technique, interview technique. And I don't think he ever said the word networking again for the rest of the week. But if he did, it was buried in some other sentence. And my analytical mind keeps rolling back to day one. He says, here's the outline, and we're going to talk to you about networking. And he never used the word networking again. And I'm sure that the way the curriculum was written was intended to imply that the resume is how you introduce yourself when you're at the in the networking opportunity, and the interview technique is the questions and answers that you have in your hip pocket prepared when you're in the networking opportunity. That's the idea that they were teaching. But it assumed that the environment was a job fair. And the analytical mind in me is saying, wait, back up the turnip truck. Let's talk about what you just said. What is networking in the civilian world? And so, yes, I went to a couple job fairs. And yes, I talked to some people. But the main thing I did is I said, I know I want to work in this geographical area. Let me go find the Chamber of Commerce website and make a phone call and say, hey, I'd like to attend your Thursday morning wake up summer chamber. To which I got, who are you and who do you think you are? No, you need to come have a conversation with me, which is exactly why I called her. And I went and had the conversation, and we didn't do interview techniques. We just had a conversation about what I was trying to do. I was trying to introduce myself to the Puyallup business community. She said, as long as you don't have any implication that you're trying to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce when you're just a guest, yeah, come visit a couple times. On the third time I attended that event, I met the guy who eventually offered me a role. Well, I met the guy who offered me a role. Like literally, it took me 6 months to decide if that was the path I was going to take. But like, I met the guy on the third time I visited that event, and he called me like the next day and said, "Come visit me." That's how networking works. I didn't use any of my interview techniques in my conversations while I was standing around at the networking event, drinking coffee with people and just having conversations like a human being. So when I say go meet people, that's what I mean. Yes, you have a script. Yes, you have an agenda. Yes, you have some talking points. Yes, you have an objective. So do they. Dr. Ivan Meisner, the founder of BNI, says you have 2 ears, one mouth, use them proportionally. Ask good questions, listen, find that other person's agenda, and be interested in what they have to say. You'll do fine. I'm Keith Bashirs.